Welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu, Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive interview series with our digital innovators of India. It's an exclusive CIO interview series powered by Rockwell Automation. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing my guest for today. He is Mr. Priyabrata Sarangi, the Chief Information Officer at DCM Shriram Industries Limited. Mr. Priyabrata is a business and IT leader with 22 plus years of experience of transforming large conglomerates using cutting-edge technologies, business processes, and analytics. He's been a winner of Digital Transformation CIO of the Year 2021, CIO of the Year 2019, Digital Leader of the Year 2018, and Manufacturing Leadership Award among the top 20 CIOs of India. He's been honored with many more such awards. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, Khushbu. I think it's a pleasure for me also that I would like to share my experience in the digital transformation. Over to you.
Awesome, absolutely. So I'm also accompanied by Arvind Kakru. He's a director at Rockwell Automation India. Arvind leads the entire end user OEM, EPC, and industry business segments for Rockwell Automation India and South Asia. He's responsible for executing the country's strategy to achieve sales for all segments by industry verticals, region, business units, and many more. So, Arvind, it's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khushbu, for having me. Pleasure talking to you today.
Great. So I would like to begin with, putting across my first question to Mr. Sarangi. So if you can help us, while we've heard of DCM Shriram Industries, I mean, it'll be great to hear it from you if you can give us a quick brief about the company.
Okay. So, Khushbu, DCM Shriram Industries Limited is a very old organization and a renowned organization. If you see its business vertical, sugar, chemical, textile, now we are in the fabrication also, and defense product also, and recently we are going to manufacturing industrial drone. Okay, so there are a lot of verticals situated, the manufacturing plant situated in Dorala, both chemical, sugar, and sanitizer. Also, we have started sanitizer business going very well, and also we have a rayons, that is textile business, which is making tire cut and 100% export oriented organization, that is in Kota, and our corporate office in Delhi, Canada Place. So I think we are doing good as far as business is concerned, and at the same time, we unanimously we have decided to go with a big digital transformation, because nowadays if your IT backbone is strong, I think you can do many things. So you don't worry about something like COVID and all type of situation. So business also, we are going to spread our wing in Gujarat also as far as chemical is concerned, and we are spreading our wing as far as business is concerned. Also, we are transforming our whole process with the new digitalized platform in a big way. Over to you.
Awesome, awesome. So my follow-up question on that is, while you mentioned, transformation, digital transformation is one of the key priorities and has been one of the key priorities. So, as a CIO, what do you think, should be the steps to move, any organization towards the vision of becoming a digital transformed organization, especially in the chemical industry? So, if you can share some experience around that.
Yeah, I know. The chemical industry, you can see all type of engineering. At the same time, the particularly the process, very stringent process, and everybody follows some set of rules, because we are serving to pharmaceutical also. So anything happen, it will be disaster. So every step, whether it is a process, whether it's a new process or new procurement of the instrument, every step we take maximum consciousness as per the norm. So we don't want to deviate even 0.001% from the norm. So that's why I talk about your process. You talk about digital transformation. We don't want to deviate anything. So that's why there is a strict discipline on that part. There is a particular team which is driving for that part, layer of team, right from your quality to production to legal and digital transformation. There are certain people who is taking care of particular that area, and there is a bonding between among them. And finally, we have decided that part, which is authorized by the third-party vendor, also third-party audit also. So these are the very strict layer within the chemical organization.
Right, got it. Arvind, would also love to hear from you. While you also interact with a lot of other chemical industries, so and the CIOs from these organizations, if you can share certain typical challenges that organizations in the chemical industry face while looking at digital transformation. Typically, while I understand the different stages, but if you can highlight a few major challenges, it'd be great.
So I think if you go back 10, 20 years back, I think people are they are accumulating some data and doing some analysis and some localized software to handle this process. But now scenario is totally changed, and now because due to this type of stringent activity, they need a good platform which can help from all the value chain cycle along with the utmost care of the quality parameter, because quality is one of the important part in chemical. Because there are so many quality process, so many quality certification is there. So that's why I think we have planned already my textile and my sugar vertical. We have implemented SAP S/4HANA 2020. Now we are going with chemicals, because that's why our strategy is part of the things we have done in the textile and sugar, and how best we can do for chemical. That's why in the last phase we kept in chemical, so that we can understand what are the pain area in the manufacturing, and we can add value on that when we do it chemicals. Number one. Number two, chemical plant, within the chemical plant, there are so many instruments which is generating so many data. And with the help of S/4HANA, we can integrate with the machines, so that no manual intervention during the data processing. Okay, so S/4HANA has a capability to integrate all the process along with the plant automation also, to integrate with plant automation also. So my first phase, we are making a bond among all the process with S/4HANA. Once it is done, then I will go with the plant automation, which I will create a automation layer between my plant automation and the ERP. And particularly the process enhancement, then your analytics. We are focusing on that part, and we are going in a good way.
Got it. I'd now like to ask the same question to Arvind as well. Arvind, your thoughts around this and your inputs on the same.
Sure. So I'll pick up from the point where Priyabrata left. The chemical industry is an essential supplier to various other industries. And so the way these industries are being changed by digital is in turn translating to opportunities and challenges, at the same point of time for chemical companies. So chemical companies or chemical producers, they face many business challenges, from stiff competition to reduced margin to limited human capital availability, regulatory compliance, supply chain digitalization, and stuff like that, right? While trying to juggle between all of those things, and they also face day-to-day realities of dealing with aging assets and growing support costs. So these are the larger, I would say, kind of complexities, which some of these companies face right now. And that also kind of gets us to the point where there's tremendous amount of potential over there, and it's the opportunity is immense. They're largely unexplored areas, to increase efficiencies and also help companies, chemical companies specifically, design novel processes and products, and the advances in networks and sensors and data availability and processes, and then engineering and material technologies, they all hold very considerable potential for expanding the efficiency and productivity in the chemical industry, and so does the digital transformation. It presents significant opportunities to increase innovation in products and solutions. So a lot of these things, basically, kind of get us towards a more connected cell at the plant level, a larger enterprise digital strategy for the company, which is encompassing a plant, particular plant, or multiple plants in case of bigger companies and conglomerates, who have multiple operations, multiple divisions around that. And also they kind of help to a very large extent, help in building a very connected chemical plant, which would help in asset utilization, which will help in reducing the risk, and also keep people kind of very focused on, how to get more productive and lean, going forward.
Awesome. Great. My next question is, for Mr. Sarangi. So to understand, what has been the latest proven digital and sustainable technologies and practices that you plan to adopt to scale, the current IT infrastructure and IT security management? Of course, with the whole current COVID times that we have gone through, and now we're trying to come out of it. So, any digital technologies or security best practices that you plan to adopt to bring in innovation and scale the current operations?
So, Khushbu, first, see, it's very important for an IT leader to make a roadmap for the organization. And
Right.
roadmap consists of your strategy. Strategy in terms of how you are ready, whether business is ready for this digital transformation.
Right.
Not only their decision point of view, also whether they are the equipment which is ready for the integration, okay, and the team who will work with you, okay. And these are the part which is internally controlled, but which is the external part is your vendor and your strategy with the cloud. Nowadays, my strategy is 100% cloud, 100% cloud. And maybe I will achieve, now already I have achieved 60% cloud. Next 2 years, I need to go to 80-90%. And some small part in the, that will be hybrid, some sort of hybrid. So looking towards these things, I think this is one part when you make a strategy for the any digital transformation. At the same point as a IT leader, because the business people will they don't understand the security and all the things. So as a leader, you must understand what are the things I'm going to deploy in my whole business landscape. At the same time, how I'm going to secure my data, okay, internal and external. That's why in my strategy always the vendor, the cloud vendor, who is the Asia #1, and always they are doing a lot of IT norms. Okay, so we have a vendor. You talk about the scaling up, scaling down. They are always ready. And you talk about the periodical IT audit and automated AI alert through AI bot, AI chat alert. And in the internal part, I've deployed a solution. So that will be the less IT people intervention. I just deploy something in my server and laptop. It will give you, it will guide you. Hey, you are doing something this like that. This is not as per the norm. Even it can populate it. That these are the things which is you should not do. If that person want to do it, then it will block their system and all the things. That type of robust security I have made. And whatever the, because see, independently you can't do. You need the internal resource as well as external resource. Whatever I finally the external resource, they are very good in their business, and they are helping in a big way, in a better way, and they are very loyal to our organization. So these are the strategy, Khushbu. I think it is create a good environment, and it will give you will get the 100% success in the transformation. This is one part. And periodic review and periodic training is highly required, and awareness, because see, you know everything, but what are the things what are the things you have made in IT strategy, IT roadmap, you must give that message must be spread across the stakeholder, because these are the people who will drive your project. And if they have a good knowledge on the subject, I think your half of the things will be covered in that part. So these are the things I am doing, and collaboratively, I think we are doing good, and everybody help each other. And we have a committee, steering committee, very strong steering committee. Every month we are reviewing along with my senior MD and MD. That level of commitment from the higher level.
Yeah.
And it is go to the, so that's why I always at top floor to soft floor and soft floor to top floor. So
Right.
that is a very good bonding among from the top management to soft floor level and from soft floor level to top management. That's why. So I'm playing an integrated leadership role, and I'm happy that in this organization that type of culture I have built. And in the future roadmap, we will do a lot of things like RPA, augmented reality. I will do a lot on the plant automation part. So these are the things we are doing.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. And while I think you've planned this, I'm sure there had been a lot of revision to look at in terms of the roadmap, the IT roadmap, the budgets, etc. Right? I mean, because I think there has been a lot of learnings that we've all got in this COVID times, and everyone started re-looking at strategies and the IT roadmap and the budget, etc. Had that been the similar experience with you?
Yeah, definitely. See, I'm giving you an example. When I joined, we made a IT policy. Now this IT policy is going to change. Same thing with all the approach. See, your approach must be flexible, but at the same time, it should not be disappear. It should be linking with one another. Suppose you implement something after 1 year, no, I don't need this piece. This is a wastage of money. Right. So that on that point also, as an IT leader, you must see that whatever things I'm going to deploy in my landscape, it must be support 5 to 10 years, something like that. Okay. Right. So that is highly important, and on the basis of that, I think as an IT leader, you must convince management for these things. And if there is a big business gain, I think everybody will approve your budget. There is no right. Obstacle for the budget.
Right, got it. Arvind, would love to get your inputs as well on this, your thoughts and inputs on what Priyabrata did.
Yeah, so I think he made some valid points, looking at technology as an evaluation factor, looking at long-term vision, which is like, is it 5 to 10 years, with the changes happening in IT, I'm not sure what is the right timeline, but that is something to factor in. You have to kind of look at things, that are really delivering to you over a period of time. I think he talked about return of investment, which is like, what is the value it is delivering, or what is the outcome this is delivering, this transformation or a particular execution or implementation, what is it delivering? I think that is very critical, because there would be a lot of business challenges in a particular enterprise itself, right? And they would be very different from one user to another or one function to another and those kind of things. I think it has to be factored in, pretty much, because, a lot of people look at it from their own way, and they also have different approvers for funding and people who can utilize that. A lot of them may not be like pan enterprise or impacting the whole organization as such. They could be limited to a certain section or a certain function. So that's very critical to see how you kind of look at these investments and how do they deliver, and that helps people like Mr. Sarangi kind of go more aggressive and look at much more larger implementations. He talked about where we are right now. I think from an SAP or ERP implementation point of view, very much ahead, but what are the new technologies that they could use, like AR, VR, and a few more, right, from their own point of view. And I would say, if you talk of a little bit more critically, I go a little bit deeper into some of the new technologies that could be kind of looked at, and may not be necessarily DCM as a company, but I'm talking in general now, which is like, for example, if you look at overall equipment effectiveness, dashboarding and analytics as such, look at remote monitoring of your assets, track and trace in some cases very useful. There's an element of logistics and warehouse management, that could be looked at. Digital twins, especially for larger manufacturing assets or plant assets, you look at then product life cycle management. You look at extending the artificial intelligence to a lot of those use cases, that would be critical. He talked about cloud, now how do you look at modeling and simulation over there, automated cloud labs or synthetic chemical development, those kind of things, would be very much kind of required. You ultimately need the whole enterprise to be connected and connected well. That is where you look at the operational connectivity, connecting all of those assets, which could be at various locations in manual or automatic form. And then again, try to connect all of those, and then use this information to improve how plants are run and how you can make better informed decisions or speedier decisions, across the full range of business processes. So that is my take on, what he said.
Great, awesome insights. One last question, considering the time limit that we have, Mr. Sarangi, any do's and don'ts or any best practices that you would want to share with the CIOs in the chemical industry, and otherwise also, to all the other CIOs, any last pointers that you would want to share?
Yes, I think very important part. I think Arvind talk about a lot of technology and all of things, but the foundation is your data. So that's why the first priority for any CIO leader, any IT leader, we must connected all my business function along with it is a manufacturing. It must be connected to my machine, because whatever you talk about, like your artificial intelligence machine, everything needs data and structured data. Okay, that's why first priority. If somebody into ERP, it will be a very good suggestion, I'm telling you. But in the most of the case, what we'll do, first we implement ERP, then we are then try to talking with the equipment. That is not a good suggestion. Very basic thing. I think everybody knows this part. But thing is that when you enter the system, we saw these are the big area. First we will capture this part. But if you connected all your machine, then coming to ERP, it will be that is a good IT roadmap. So that's why the basic part is how to capture all the data in my organization. Then I can build anything. I'm telling you. That's why I'm working on that part. Once the SAP completed, then I'll work on the plant automation side. Then I'll work on all the AI and analytics part. So that is my vision, and that is required for all the organizations.
Great, wonderful. Good conversation. Thank you so much, Arvind. Thank you so much, Priyabrata, for joining us today on CIO News platform and sharing all these wonderful insights with us. It was a pleasure to host you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Khushbu. Thank you, Arvind.
Thank you, Khushbu, and thank you, Priyabrata. Nice talking to you both.